Hello, I'm PJ Master, Corey Russell, and I have a special video today. It's not going to be going over a game, but instead, I'm going to be showing some common traps, and also I'll be showing you how to avoid them in case they happen to be traps in the opening that you play. Um, and I'll even do at least one in all the major branches for white, that is E4 and D4, as well as at least one trap in C4, and even a trap in F4, which is called the birds. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these traps. Start with the E4 because E4 is the most popular opening here. Here's a trap in the Sicilian. Anytime an opponent offers you a pawn right out of the opening, which you kind of be suspicious. And indeed, if black was suspicious, he'd be rightly so. Because he does take it, white has queen e4 check, and queen take knight, he just up a piece. This queen e4 check, picking up a pawn or piece, or queen a5 check for black, is extremely common. So you should always keep if white or black has those options, you should make sure they don't win any material. Because it's, like I said, it's a very common theme. Instead, black should just play knight bd7 and he's fine. You can also play e6. So he has a number of better moves than taking down the pawn. But anyway, that's one trap. The next trap is in the Scandinavian. So here, black pinned the knight, and that's too rambunctious, unfortunately for him. And now this next trap, this next combination is actually extremely common among beginner players. So keep an eye for it. Shoot check, and discover check, and knight, or bishop, I mean. And not only did white win a pawn, but he also has a bishop pair, black can't castle, and white has as initiative. So all in all, a great sequence for white. Now if you're black, of course, what you should do instead is the more common move, knight a6 and d4, and then goes on more traditional lines, and black's doing fine. And now bishop knight here is okay. Bishop here is okay because the knight protects the bishop on g4. This next one is a rather famous trap. So if you're black, you definitely walk into this. You make it seem like your opponent did your brilliancy. Here, black is worried about knight g5. That's not really a threat, right? Because it's just how he develops. I mean, if you have to, you can just go knight e6 and he's done with the threat. However, if he's worried about the threat, bishop e7 is a much better way to go. Instead, black at h6, pretty dubious. And then he compounds one error to another, bishop e4. And here, black must play d-take. Excuse me. And white's a little bit better, but black can play on. Black went insane at a knight take, and now he walks into white's trap. He goes, aha, I got the queen. Check. Whoops. Checkmate. So if you're black, don't walk into this for sure. Alright, that's e4 traps. Let's do some d4 traps here. Here's one that every black player should know. It's a Queen's Gambit. Oh, and white too, for that matter. So here, black is saying, ooh, you win a pawn. White should not try to win the pawn. Oh, white goes, aha, I'll take her queen. Check. Oops, only move. Check. Okay, recaptures. King take. And if you do a material count, you realize black has a knight for 2 pawns, which is a clear advantage for black. So don't walk into this with your white. And for black, it doesn't really hurt to offer it to see if white falls for it. Here's another d4 trap. This time it's in a Coley. Even though if black knows what he's doing, a Coley's not really all that dangerous, um, but there are some traps if black is unsuspecting. So C3 is played so that black plays C4, white can just retreat to C2, which is a good retreat actually. So both sides castle. And here is a trap. Common is just taken here, very common in fact. But this is slightly better for white, slightly. And black could also just play Queen E7, and that's okay too. But instead, he tried this. Takes the bishop, goes retreat. Takes the knight, takes the pawn. And now black realizes that basically white just won a pawn. He said, wait a minute, there's only two defenders and there's 3 attackers. Well, that's true. But black tries to go for the pawn, watch what happens. Check. Discover check. Discover attack, I mean. Queen to queen, and white has won a queen for bishop. Pretty great deal, I'd say. So if you're black, well, first of all, if you're black, don't play d4. Just play either take the pawn e4, or you can play queen e7, or bishop d7 is possible too. But for you and a6, there are a lot of possible moves, but don't play d4. Okay, there's another Coley trap. So let's say instead white plays e4, or okay, black castles. Okay, castles. White plays e4 instead. He obviously good knight. Develops. And then black is oblivious to the danger. Just goes to the file, and now white is a devastating attack. So the main line is king up, check. And then if it goes here, white can get an attack with knight. Or not attack, but you can get at least 2 pieces of the attack for that. And actually, queen d4 is a good move here. It's a really good move. And it's just all sorts of problems for black. And if he goes back, let's say he goes, oh, well, I'll just go back here. Oh, then queen e7 mate. Check, goes here, check, here, check, only move, check, only move, and whoops. My apologies here. Didn't mean to resize that turn. And then queen take pawn, and it's checkmate. Reset. There we go. So, one thing to remember about this combination of the bishop or sack and a7 is you can never do it. You can never do it if black can cover h7, like with the bishop or knight, especially most commonly. So instead, of course, black should just play h6 and just don't allow the sacrifice on h7. All right. Next trap is English. Both sides develop here. This is a sharp line, but you should definitely say the opening lines if we're playing this. So the book move is bishop c5, e3, e4, and then the game continues. These are the book moves. But let's say black didn't bother to study book and plays knight d5. Surprisingly, he's already lost. Queen take knight. What? Queen to queen. Check. Uh-oh. Knight to queen. And white got a queen and knight, and all black got was a queen, meaning white won the knight. So if you're black, be careful you play this line. You should study the theory before you play it. Because as you can see, it's easy to go wrong, that line. Another trap is in the birds. This is called the Fromm's Gambit. It's aggressive line, although if white knows what he's doing, he can get a slight plus. Now white should do d4 with a slight plus for white. However, this lady plays c3. Oh, I'll just move my knight. Wait a minute. Check. Uh-oh. If black wants to Q, you can do this. Queen take check. Bishop take check. And yes, mate. So don't, if you're white, don't fall for that. Play the book move d4. All right. So since we're talking about traps, let's talk about something. It's not technically well, it's not really a trap. It's just a way to misplay it for black. So let's say white tries to mate you right out of the opening. So of course you're not going to have a bishop here and let him do queen take mate. What you will do, however, is knight 6, and now black threatens knight d4, and basically the queen is misplaced. So just develop your knight and you know the castle kingside quickly, and you're doing great. That queen is not gonna. The queen cannot beat you by herself. So don't be afraid of queen. Your minor pieces and pawns can just push her around like heck. So this is not a good strategy for white. Okay, those were some of the more common traps I wanted to show you. Oh, with one more very important one. So we're the Pettis trap. This particular trap is called the Noah's Ark trap. So here, white should just play rookie 1. White tried, white tried d4. And now this is a colossal mistake because now, well, black wins the bishop. And notice d5 is covered by the black knight, so there's no tricks on d5 for white. So this is called a Noah's Ark. White players and black players should be well aware of this trap. For white, don't walk into Noah's Ark. You can avoid Noah's Ark by playing c3. And for black, keep an eye out for this, because if they walk into it, then you get an easy advantage right in the opening. Again, that was the Noah's Ark trap. Okay, those were some of the more common traps I wanted to show you and make sure you were aware about. If this is interest, let me know in the comments, and I'd be happy to show you some more traps. But, the main thing is, if an opponent plays an unusual move or it's something you think might be a mistake, look very carefully, because a lot of times moves like that are actually traps. They're hoping that you'll take the bait, or they're hoping you'll walk in the trap. So they do a strange move or something that seems like a mistake, look very carefully, because maybe it's not. Maybe they're just setting you up. So, anyways, I hope you guys had fun with this, and I'll see you guys next time.